All right, let's move around a little bit. I am glad to hear that you used our yoga coping mechanism to do a forward fold.
It's the only thing I can remember.
That makes me feel good. So let's notice the floor, right? Or just notice where our mass meets the flat surface. All right, the ground is holding us up, the mat is holding us up. So just notice, first we want to pay attention to those pressure nerve endings, because it's different nerves that tell our brain, oh, this is something pushing, this is a change of pressure, and the ones that feel texture. So notice where we rest, right? Notice where we're in contact with the floor. And then let's notice our clothing, right? Yoga clothes are pretty comfortable, but usually we can still pick up on one or two places. And it just gets us in the mode of paying attention to our sense of touch. That's sort of why we do this, because it makes us physically smarter, and makes our brain and our body cooperate. So let's just notice our easy pose. Let the ground, from the waist down, let's let the lower body, we'll think of it and plan for it to be solid, like the elements of earth and water. And then the upper body, we want it to be light and open and less dense than the legs and hips, right? I like to think of the upper body as being like light and air. The lower body is like earth and water, heavier and more solid. So let's take a few breaths and let our inhale sit us up nice and tall. I'm like reaching up, taking the crown of the head and reaching for the sky, filling up with the breath. And then on the exhale, settle into the shape of the spine, settle into the support of our body. All right? Let's do that again. We'll make the inhale active, right? I'm lifting my shoulders, I'm taking the top of my head towards the sky, and then on the exhale, I'm just placing the weight of the upper body on that strong lower back, right? Place we can depend on, that solid trunk. If we think of our upper body as a tree, our trunk is the trunk, and our lower back is the real the crux of the matter. Let's do one more good breath, and we'll hold for just a moment as we're nice and tall, and then nice and slow, release the breath, settle into the spine. And then let's start warming our neck up a little bit. Just pick a direction, and first make barely noticeable circles. Right? We want to start small, and then gradually let our circle spiral out, our neck circle, until we find that spot where we can lean on that limit. We know, okay, my body doesn't go any further past that point, so I can depend on that. I can use that as a source of stability. And then we just take it real slow. We want to be, we're sort of, the name of the game is paying attention to the physical here, but particularly when we're taking our body out to the edge of its range of motion, we want to be particularly careful, because we're not trying to break any barriers or change any massive way that our body works. We're just trying to experience that, again, the solidity and the stability of those limits. We're trying to experience that. All right, let's take a few circles the other direction. Okay, good deal. Let's do some shoulder circles here. So first, let's push the left shoulder down and pull the right shoulder up. Okay? And then I think of it as like bicycle pedals, right? Right's going to go back as the left goes forward, and then left goes up and right goes back and down. Just the shoulders are opposite each other in their up and down axis. Just make a few circles here. Let some space show up in the shoulders. Okay? Let's take the right hand out to the side to sort of prop us up. And we're going to go up with the left hand and then bring it up and over. Find that spot where we can just be at rest with the upper body, but it's still happening. The pose is still happening in our left side. Okay, let's come on back to center. And then we'll prop ourselves up with the left hand. Just use that to lean on, right? And we can do there's a lot of different ways of doing this. It's sort of a moving, flowing pose. But so we can put the left arm wherever we want, wherever it feels best. Let's take the right hand up, and we're gonna bring it up and over. And the reason for that is once we get off of, so straight up and down, gravity's pulling this arm straight down. But once we get past 12 o'clock here, gravity's pulling it to the side. And we use that pull a lot of when we do forward folds or these side bends. That's why that's why I keep my arm straight, because it's when we get that lever, I don't know if it's a class 2 lever, class 1 lever, when we get it out to the side, gravity's helping bend us that direction or helping take us that direction. Okay, let's come on back to center. And let's meet up in tabletop. And we'll do a couple of things from here. Okay, let's take a little bit of, what are we going to do first? Let's come on down to our elbows and link our hands together here. We'll take some puppy pose. So notice the contact with the forearms and the hands, and give a little press with the hands, not to flex our muscles or not to be forceful, but just to know what that feels like, to give us the stability here in the upper body. And then let the shoulders release. I always find I'm sort of pulling up and away. So first, let's let the shoulders be easy, and then we're going to sink our shoulders down the spine, like the shoulders are headed towards the hips, and then bring the shoulder blades back along the spine. All right? So shoulder blades are back and down, and then we're going to tuck our toes, and we just do the same thing we do for downward facing dog. We just straighten those knees, and feel free to walk the feet forward or back. Make it feel stable. Make it feel doable. You can change the angle, again, by moving the feet in or out. Notice what the shoulders are doing, and just do it on purpose, right? No matter how it is that we're doing the pose, we just be there. We notice it. We learn it. All right, let's go ahead and set the knees down, and we'll untuck the toes and take some child's pose. Because at the beginning of class here, it's good to release on purpose, to invite space into the body on purpose. And that's what child's pose is all about. Switching off, letting the joints be open, letting the muscles be in their resting phase as opposed to their active phase. Okay, let's make our way back up to the tabletop. And let's go ahead and take a spinal twist from here. We'll take the right hand up. It's going to slide through here so we can come down to the right shoulder and the right ear. Take a second to release from the shoulders down to the hips. Just be open, right? Make sure that we're just sort of settled in and are easy. And then we'll take the left arm out to the side and it's going to come up and back. Same deal here. Once we get that arm past the 12 o'clock position, it just sort of leans us. Gravity makes that twist happen. Okay, let's make our way back to center. And we'll try that out for the other side. Left hand flips up. It's going to scoot through here so that we can bring our left shoulder to rest on the left side of the head. Take a second to get comfortable and to get stable. And then the right arm is going to come up and back, opening the shoulders out to the right. And the hips, we don't have to do anything with the hips, but it's just good to notice and good to note in this pose, in this twist, the lower body is the anchor, the hips are the anchor, and the upper body is the mover, or the upper body is what's making the twist happen. Sometimes we do different ones, right? Sometimes the shoulders are still while the hips move and open. Okay, let's come on back to center. And let's find our easy pose again, and we'll meet up towards the back of the mat. Because we're going to eventually take our legs forward. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let's take the right foot out to the side. Okay, right knee bends so that we can get the right foot out to the side, and then the left knee bends so the left foot ends up right in front of us, somewhere in front of us. And we'll use our hands here to support and steer, all right? Really make use of the upper body, because the hips are tight, and the smallest change can make a big difference when we're talking about the hips. So use the hands and arms to be gentle and to move with control, okay? And if this feels like plenty stretch, right? If this already is challenging, which for me it is. I got this thing in my right hip, and just being here, I feel it. But if we ever want to add a little bit more, we just treat it like any other forward fold from our seat, right? We stay tall because we can control where we put the pose. As soon as we bend our back and neck, infinite amount of shapes we can make here. But when we keep this moving as one piece, we know that when we fold forward, it's going to go where we want it, which is in the hips. Okay, let's come on back upright, and if the legs are doing okay or the hips are doing okay, let's use our hands just behind us and see if we can lean back a little bit. And it's sure to affect us differently. Okay? That's good. Let's come back up to center, and of course we'll just take that to the other side. So left foot ends up out to the left side. Right foot's going to be right in front of us. Okie doke. Same deal here. Let's first just take stock, right? Let the hands and arms make it easier on us. Let the hands and arms pitch in here and notice what the hips are telling us. And if it's a lot, then probably the best thing we can do is just stay here. If it's painful, change it. Make it unpainful. If it's just a feeling of like intensity or tightness, that's what we're looking for. So if we have plenty of what we want here upright, we'll just stay here for a little bit. If we want a little more, we keep our nice tall, easy pose and just ease it forward a little bit. Watching closely in the hips, see what happens. Okay, let's come on back upright, and then we'll use our hands just behind us and see what we can find by leaning back. Awesome. Let's come on back to center. And let's take both legs out straight in front of us. And to make a little space in the back of the body, let's do a little forward fold here. So we're going to reach up tall, bring space to the back of the body, and then hinge it forward. Lengthen out over the legs as we come forward. We're trying to feel that length, mostly in the back of the legs. And then when we got that, just settle in. Let the upper body come to rest. Okay, let's just gently roll it up from the hips to the middle back, to the shoulders, and finally our head comes up straight. And now we find ourselves in hard pose. They don't really call it that, but compared to easy pose, of course, this is super hard. So notice first the activity of the abdominal wall. Notice what the muscles of the belly are doing. And then let's use our back muscles to really firm up the lower back. And it's just a little push forward. We're using our back muscles to hold our back strong. Okay? And let's turn the hands up. And see if we can keep opening here by lifting the solar plexus and the heart, right? Up towards the sky, making the upper body long while the lower body presses forward to sort of receive the weight of the upper body. Same deal here too. Notice the legs. Sometimes I forget about the legs in this pose because it's such hard work, or I make it hard work on myself from the hips up. But really what's supporting us at the end of the day are the legs. So notice the legs and hips and appreciate that sense of stability. All we have to do with the upper body is to let go of that weight and that density of the upper body, let it sink down into the lower body. Only do what's necessary. Pressing the lower back forward, lifting the heart, our chin is level. Just notice for a moment, sit here and just notice where our body feels impatient. Notice where our body wants to change the way we're sitting. Because you can bet that's where we're getting stronger, is where it feels uncomfortable. Okay? From here, let's keep the right leg straight, and we're just going to bend the left knee. It can either stack on top of the right, or we can put it here inside the right leg, whichever way feels best. And then we're going to reach up long and hinge it forward from the hips. Find that length in the back of the right leg. Okay, let's roll it up gently from the floor to the head, and then we'll switch legs. Left leg is straight, that's where we'll be focusing our efforts. We just want the right leg to be comfortable. And then we're going to reach up and go long over the left leg. And we're zoomed in there with our inner eye zoomed into the back of the left leg. You know, if we're getting that good, steady lengthening of the back of the left leg, that's what gives us all those calming, soothing, that's what gives the results when we're talking about poses that we can do to feel just chiller and more centered and stable. Lengthening the back of the body, that's the sign that we're doing a cooling pose. We had a senior physics teacher named Mr. Huff that was super old school Southern and had a really deep voice. And one of our favorite things to try to duplicate or imitate was him one time telling us, oh God, how did it go? Freezing is a warming reaction. And melting is a cooling reaction. All right, let's come on back upright and let's take the legs out straight for just one moment. And we'll head to our fish pose from here. So we're just going to sit on our fingertips and to get the elbows reaching for one another. Elbows are just pulling back. That's going to give us a resting point here in just a moment. But for now, it's opening the front of the body. Of course, we're lifting the heart and the solar plexus. Let's lean it back until we can rest our elbows on the ground. Okay, take a second, make any small adjustments so that we're just propped comfortably, right? No big deal. Because we have more space in the body when we begin from an open and a released stance. Okay, now what we're going to do is to use our back, use the muscles of the back of the body to push the solar plexus up. And that's our hot spot. That's where we're going to keep. It's not where we work, and we want the actual muscles here in the front of the body to be released and open, relaxed. But we're using the back to push that part of the body up. And keeping the head lifted a little bit is fine. Letting the head rest back is also fine. Just make sure it's comfortable for the head and neck.
Right, let's go ahead and lift our head so that we can look down at our feet, and that's going to keep our neck in the best stable, comfortable position. From here, stay on the elbows, keep that support of the elbows, but let's free the hands. And what that's going to let us do is to roll up the spine. And the slower we go and the more we take our time, the better it feels. So first, bring the back of the hips flat. So at this angle, at least for me, I'm tipped up sort of on the tailbone. And the first move is to lower that and let the back of the pelvis, the back of the hips flatten against the floor. And then pause for a moment, settle, right? Relax. And then find the touchdown with the lowest vertebra we can find, right? The first backbone, it'll be different for both of us, I'm sure, but just find that lowest one, bring it to the floor, and then reset, right? Find that stillness and 0 point, and then find the next backbone. Nice and easy. And when we find one that feels interesting or new, rock that. I rock back and forth a little bit, right? I try it out. Just give each backbone we can find that same close attention. And once our shoulders make it to the floor and our head makes it to the floor, just release. All right, let's bring the left knee in towards us. We're going to use the right hand to hold the left knee. And first, just use the weight of the arm to pull the knee in. We're not even pulling with our muscles. We're just holding it. And then gentle pull, right? Like we're trying to pull our knee in closer to us. Okay? Let's let the left leg go. Let's get the right knee moving in. And then we'll use the left hand to hold the knee. Same deal. At first, just let the loose arm add a little bit of weight. And then gentle pull. All right, let's let that right knee go. And this time we'll take our hands and arms just down by our sides. Palms are down, shoulders are down. Just notice those 2 strong points, or I guess 4 strong points. The hands and the backs of the shoulders. And then we're just going to lift the shoulders and the head. Press down with the lower back. Let the shoulders relax and release back towards the floor. The muscles in the front of the body just trying to press the lower back down. Okay? With control, let's bring our head and shoulders back to the floor. Let's press down with the hands and shoulders again and lengthen out with both sets of toes, both knees straight, and let's see if we can float the legs for a moment. Push out long through the toes. Make the stability from reaching long instead of just pulling away. Push long through the toes, and then let's just go ahead and bring both legs right in front of us, or parallel, knees straight. Let's pull in with the toes, right? Keep the toes pulling in. Keep the knees gently pulling into that limit, right? Keep the knees pulling towards the head. Okay, lengthen through the heels, push long, and then we're just going to bring the legs back down and relax. Okay, let's take our time, roll to the left or right side, and we'll just use the hands and arms to gently lift the upper body. We're just going to make our way gradually to our easy pose, but we just don't want to rush it. We want to stay in the pocket, as they say. And then, I think what we'll do for our breathing practice tonight, my new favorite, the rectangular breath. It's not called that, but the square breath really is the square, where it's 4, 4, 4, and 4. The inhale and the exhale are longer here. They're 8s, and the holds are 4, right? So we're going to inhale for an 8, hold for a 4, exhale for an 8, and hold for a 4. And I really love this one. It helped me through a dentist visit yesterday. It's super stressful for me. I just don't like people messing with my mouth. I don't like going. It's awful. I really, I needed, the breathing help was very useful. So let's start on an inhale, and I'll count us through one lap, and then I'll be quiet, and we can explore it for ourselves. Okay? So a nice smooth inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Smooth exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're holding empty. 2, 3, 4, and then we're back on an 8 inhale.